Hello and welcome to Walk the Pod, your daily walking show, where I take my podcast for a walk because I don't have a dog. Welcome along to episode 5, series 50 of the Daily Walking Podcast that tempts you away from your desk at lunchtime to walk in nature and pay attention to what's directly in front of you for just 10 minutes. This is the last episode of the first week of series 50 of Walk the Pod, a series in which we've been talking about gifts. I find myself in Crescent Grove in Clapham today, walking along very posh streets with black railings and whitewashed buildings with pillars outside with black numbers painted onto them. It's one of those London streets that is just insanely sort of aristocratic in what it looks like. I mean, it's probably full of families who are headed up by bankers, but it feels aristocratic anyway. A very posh street indeed, dear ones. I feel myself a little bit weary at the end of the week, having caught a cold, but luckily I have a voice note from Cindy, which will bring the energy that I don't quite have. Welcome to Walk the Pod.
Hey, this is Cindy. I am feeling like the lucky one today. I am dog sitting for my friend, and I'm walking her puppy out on their acreage, and I am among the chickens of all colors, spotted black and white, brown, black, this proud rooster that I'm a little intimidated by. Hello. And there's cows in the distance, laying by a pond. Oh, this is a treasure. I have actually never been out here before. There's sheep over here, a sheep pen, and he is looking like I should be giving him a treat or something. So I'm just dog sitting, but there's so much. There's kitties on the hay bale. If you could just smell the smells of hay and I'm sure all kinds of pollen. And everybody has something to say on the farm today. This is my happy place, definitely adding a spark of joy, helping me to have a beautiful mind of gratitude. So glad I could share it with you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Cindy. That sounds absolutely idyllic, your situation in the farm over there. Guess what I'm going to say next? Please, may we have some photos of the puppy? Don't know whether that's okay with the owners of the puppy. Maybe you seek consent from the owners first, but we would love to see pictures of the puppy. Thank you so much for sharing pictures of gorgeous Oscar on the Discord server. It's an absolute delight to see his little face and your beautiful pumpkins as well. Very exciting, getting to know a new listener via voice notes on Walk the Pod, so thank you. And if you are one of our more established listeners, do send a walking report or a voice note to talk about what gifts mean to you too, because I would love to hear from you as well. Postcards are going out to the members of the Snail Mail Patreon tier at the end of the month. I've posted the international ones, having had quite a disaster with them last month. I think I've worked out how to get them there in one piece this month. So I think there might be one space left on the Scenic Snail Mail tier if you would like to receive postcards to wherever you are in the world once a month. It's quite exciting. And you can join via walkthepod.com, of course. So this week we've been talking about gifts, and it's been really fascinating to think about this in terms of creative gifts, but also in terms of more traditional gifts that we give and take in order to create bonds and establish relationships in the world, and to think a bit about how art might always contain a gift and how art might exist within a market economy and a gift economy simultaneously, as written by Lewis Hyde and Michael Mouse in various books that I've been reading in researching this topic. And the thing that fascinates me the most, I think, is the idea that when we receive potential inklings of a gift within ourselves, we may not be ready to receive it yet. And the whole thing that we've been talking about in previous series about genius must find you at your desk and all that stuff, which I think has been dismissed by some listeners as a bit woo. Maybe yes, maybe do dismiss it as a bit woo, but the piece of it I think is worth keeping is that whilst it might not literally be that there is a spirit genius that visits one at one's desk, what I'm actually trying to get to, and what many people have tried to get to who've written about this over the years, is that if we don't put an enormous volume of work into developing our gifts, we may not ever get to that nirvana sort of lucid point at which we can create things that we didn't even think possible in previous years. And it's not because a spirit genius visits us at our desk, but it is because we have developed and honed our skills through the labour of an enormous volume of work to the point where we can make things that are sort of beyond our own comprehension. We can't imagine how it's possible that we have created the volume of work or the body of work that we have, because the accumulation of skills and talent over years and years and years can get us to places we couldn't even see at the beginning of that journey. And so it is that I leave you with the thought that, well, I think Mary Oliver put it rather well about how the most regretful people on earth are those who felt the call to creative work and gave it neither time nor energy or something. I'm paraphrasing somewhat. If you feel the tug of creative work, dear friends, and you have the energy, do commit to it. Do sit down and have a go. Be prepared to put in an enormous volume of work, and you might be astonished with where you get to. I've moved away from Crescent Grove now because a delivery lorry came into the grove and started sort of clanking around in an unnecessary fashion, along with multiple people who were there to sort of get the whatever it is in the lorry out and into the house that it was being delivered to. An enormous amount of noise was kicking off in Crescent Grove, basically poddy. So I've come to Clapham Common instead, and now I'm walking on the grass, which is strewn with crispy brown leaves, so we are definitely getting into a more autumnal phase now. What seem like hundreds of crows have now moved because I have rudely started walking amongst them, and they've scattered themselves over other parts of the common. And the sky overhead is grey and mist. The air temperature is still pretty high. It's about to fall off a cliff, I think, in the next 24 hours. I keep seeing weather warnings. We're going to have storms, we're going to have thunder, we're going to have lightning. It's going to be very dramatic, but right now it is a sort of gathering gloom of clouds that are plotting something overhead. Thank you so much for walking with me this week. It has been an absolute delight to escape into nature for 10 minutes every lunchtime. Cannot tell you how good it is for my mental health to have this oasis in which to speak to you. And it's interesting that when I'm not recording a podcast episode, I don't walk as often. And when I am recording podcast episodes, I skip into the park with absolute joy in my heart, I am not Doctor Who. My heart, because I'm looking forward to talking to you. And yes, sometimes it's a sort of, sometimes it's a slightly one-way kind of thing. I'm talking to you and you're listening, but occasionally when I receive a voice note or a message or a text message or something, just to say, hi, enjoyed the episode, Rach, it is evidence that there are many people listening to all of this, and that means that I delight in stepping into the park in order to talk to you. That's how I feel about it. And it's lovely to know that you're walking under the same sky somewhere not too far away. Take care of your beautiful mind over the weekend, dear pod pals, and I can't wait to bring you the next 5 episodes of Walk the Pod series 50 on the theme of gifts next week.